Today we're diving into fun Christmas crafts for kids, the perfect kids' Christmas activities to spark holiday cheer. Welcome to the Chic Show. Today's playlist is hosted by Rustic and Lace DIY and Craft Along with Jay. For these first two projects, you'll need some jumbo popsicle sticks. I'm just mixing together some paint with a little bit of water to make more of a stain to make a gingerbread color. Once I have that color like I want it, I'm just going to stain that popsicle front and back and then wipe it back with a paper towel. Depending on the age of your kids that you're working with, you could do this ahead of time. I chose 3 buttons. It would be better if the red ones were a little bit smaller, but I just used what I had. And I'm just kind of getting my placement of where I'm going to want these on the gingerbread man. Now I'm using a black paint pen and I'm just drawing on the eyes and the mouth. I'm using puff paint here. Again, you could use a white paint pen, you could use markers, you could use whiteout, a white color, anything like this, depending on the age of the kids. And I'm just adding on some icing at the top and the bottom. I also have a little ribbon here that I've tied into a bow. This is again a step that you could do ahead of time. I'm adding a little bit of glitter to the white puff paint just to give it a little something. Just for the sake of time, I'm using hot glue to glue my pieces on, but for younger children, I would recommend using school glue or tacky glue and then setting them aside to dry. Johnny wants a pair of skates, Susie wants a doll, Nellie wants a... In order to hang these, I just used a piece of jute twine, tied a knot, and then again glued that to the back. Isn't very bright. Choose for me, oh Santa Claus, what you think is right. Jolly old Saint Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm gonna say. For this popsicle project, I'm using one jumbo popsicle stick and one a little bit smaller. And I'm going to be cutting the ends. I didn't really measure it. You can just kind of eyeball it, but about in thirds. This one will be a toy soldier. So I am adding these two to the sides, and then I'm going to use the middle piece across all 3 sticks so that it will hold them together. And again, I would use school glue or tacky glue and set it aside to dry and then come back to it later to paint. I mixed together some paints to make more of a flesh color, and I'm painting the hands and I'll paint the face. Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now you dear old man, whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you... I forgot to hit record, but I did paint the shirt next, so you can kind of see how I did that. And I also painted the hat, his belt, and his shoes with black paint. Now I'm painting his bottoms, and then we will add something to the shirt. I used some yellow paint and just made an X and some dots on his top. All that's left is to give him a face, and again you can use a marker, a paintbrush, a paint pen, anything that is fitting for the age of child you're working with. Now we're going to add another hanger to the back, just like we did with the last project. I didn't realize until I turned this over that I probably should have painted the back just to make it look a little nicer, but that is totally up to you. Jolly old Saint Nicholas, lean your project, I'm using some of these little tags that I got on clearance at Dollar General. So these were literally pennies a piece. I chose one, and I chose the one with the gray tassel at the bottom, and I have some white beads on hand, and I'm going to draw a little snowman face onto one bead and then his buttons on the second bead. We'll also need one black bead for this project. I cut off the string at the top because I'm going to be adding some jute twine. I threaded through my jute twine and then I tied a small knot. I'm going to thread on the bead that I made the buttons on first, and then follow it with the snowman's face and then the black bead. Christmas Eve is coming soon, now you dear old man. Once all three beads have been strung onto the twine, I'm going to tie a knot at the top to keep them from sliding up and down. On the tag, the children could write their names or anything they wanted there. I chose just to glue on a little snowflake. I also put a dot of glue so that my beads wouldn't turn around, but that's up to you. Then I added a pretty little red velvet bow to the very top. Who doesn't love the Grinch? We are going to turn this little witch hat and ghost into a Grinch face. First of all, I'm going to paint the rim of the hat with white craft paint. Now I'm going to paint the bottom of the ghost with some lime green craft paint. I also have a little half bead that I'm going to paint with that same green paint. Now you could draw on a nose, you could use a bead, whatever you have on hand. Set those two pieces aside to dry, and I'll go back to the hat and paint the top of it with red craft paint. Now we can glue these two pieces together once it is completely dry. So I just position my hat on top of the ghost so that we have a little Grinch face. I'm using tacky glue for this, and gluing that hat down, I'll use the same glue to glue on the nose. You could leave this as is, or you could draw on a face as I did here. My paint pen is almost empty, but I managed to get it on just enough. Lastly, I'm painting another bead with that same lime green paint. While the bead dries, I'm going to go ahead and add a twine hanger to the top. Using more glue, I'm going to glue on the green bead to the tip of the hat. How adorable is this? Don't you tell a single soul what I'm gonna say. Christmas Eve is coming soon, now you dear old man. Whisper what you'll bring to me, tell me if you can. The last project, we're going to make the Holy Family using some tumbling tower blocks and some beads. First of all, I chose a smaller bead and I glued in part of a dowel that's pretty thin, but something that would fit into the hole. Again, you might want to do that ahead of time. Then I'm gluing the 2 tumbling tower blocks together. Now I'm going to string on 2 natural beads onto some jute twine. Once they're strung on the twine, I'm going to tie a knot at the end, and then I'm going to pull it so that the knot will hide inside one of the beads. I added a little glue just to hold the knot in place. For this part, you may actually want to use hot glue, so definitely assist younger children. I glued each bead in place on the top of each tumbling tower block and held it until it was set. With the smaller dowel rod and the smaller bead, I went ahead and broke it off and then used some scrap fabric to wrap around it for baby Jesus swaddling. I used hot glue to hold it in place, and then I removed the dowel rod and added glue to it as well. Add a little more glue to the back and glue it to the front of the tumbling tower blocks, and then we have one more little addition. I have this little silver star, and I'm just going to glue that to the jute twine. What a sweet little reminder for the reason for the season. I hope these simple Christmas craft ideas inspired some festive fun for you and your kids. If you're looking for more inspiration, be sure and watch the playlist in the description box below or this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.